No, you're kidding me. I need to collect one more lum? That... You gotta be kidding me. I got 99, you need 100. Murphy, stop interfering. I know how to do this. I've done this millions of times. Thank you. Oh, that's so unfortunate. No treasure for... Hey, no! Oh my god, I don't have enough. Alright, so listen. If there was any game I feel like I should be good at speedrunning, it should be Rayman 2. I've done so many Rayman 3 content and I know the game like the back of my hand, but Rayman 2 I've never really gotten into. I mean, I played this as a kid, I've done these runs multiple times, but it's been so long since I've run this game. Except for the scouting run that I did a couple of days ago to get a feel for the mechanics again. The only thing that I have to do is look into speedrun tricks and I think I can do it. Did my game crash? What happened? What is this? I mean, how hard can this be? Starting on hour 1. I use my time to prioritize the things I want to do and invest my time into. Alright, so the great question is where to start? After having made a short list, the most logical step seems to plan the entire run. So let's just go ahead and do some quick research. My scouting run feels somewhat like a good measure point. I try to go somewhat fast and collect as few lumps as possible. Obviously, this resulted in not having enough at the sanctuaries, but it is exactly this kind of knowledge that I need to plan the run further. So after some quick research I found this table. You need 100 at water and ice, 300 at stone and fire, 475 at rock and lava, and 555 at the iron mountains. Although, I also found out that you actually need the 475 lumps not at the Sanctuary of Rock and Lava, but actually at the level after that, beneath the Sanctuary of Rock and Lava. That actually gives me 50 more lumps to work with. Now that I got my list, I can start counting. And this felt really hard, because we all know that these runs will go differently than when actually running. Random things can happen, you can forget certain things, or because you are so focused on getting the best time, you are not thinking clearly. So I counted the most logical lumps to collect, and tried to guess if I got that lum in my scouting run or not. For instance, when you spawn in Fairy Glade 1, the most obvious thing that you can do is jump on the mushroom and immediately proceed to the rest of the game. But there are also a few lumps in the water here. It feels like they would take a lot of time to get, but I do have to be at 100 at the Sanctuary of Water and Ice. And there are plenty of lumps in Fairy Glade that we can't get yet, due to the fact that you could come back here later, when visiting the Echoing Caves. Anyway, I decide not to go in that water part and save up on time. And I make sure to get enough lumps in the Bajou and in the marshes. It actually took me around 45 minutes to calculate and check all the maps for easy lum grabs, and I came up with this list. Let's take a closer look. The Woods of Light obviously has 5 lumps. I counted 12 lumps in the Fairy Glade. I figure that's quite a safe pick. 12 should be really doable, but it's also a little risky because now the count for the remaining 2 levels until Mask 1 is 45 and 38. Of course, if I run short, I have to make up for that in another level. Or if I get too many, I have room for error. According to the calculations, we get to exactly 100 lumps at the end of part 1. In the second part, we see that getting to 300 lumps is a real test, and I'm going to need to put down high numbers here. So after a while of calculating, I figured that you have to Yahoo! Well, that sounds like Mario, but it's actually Rayman. The Sanctuary of Water and Ice, meaning to get the full 50 lumps. That is the only way I saw to get the lowest time, I figured. Now looking back, huge mistake. Why? Because when you 100% a level, the game lets you do this weird minigame where a baby glowbox has to race against a robot pirate, wasting all of your time. So in practice, this list cannot work. It's not a huge loss, however, because it's likely I've miscalculated more things. This list is like a helping tool to roughly get an idea of how to go about this run. It's not strict, but it's nice that I can calculate all these things beforehand instead of during the run. So 38 on Manor Hills, 39 on Cave of Bad Dreams, 41 in Canopy, and a lower amount, 32, in Whale Bay. This gets me to exactly 300 lumps. Following up to Mask 3, I of course made the decision not to go into the very long extra sequence with the plum and the walking rocket at the Sanctuary of Stone and Fire. So that number stays relatively low at 23. The Echoing Caves and the Precipice should not take long to get all the lumps, right? So 40 and 48 there. And at these last two, I put down 39 and 29. If I would miss a lot more lumps in the chair in the top of the world, I can't go back, and I have to make up for that in the Sanctuary of Rock and Lava. That brings me to 479. 4 more than necessary. I guess that the top of the world makes me kinda scared of making mistakes. Plus, I figure that we are nearing the end of the game and the margin could be nice here. And you can actually see that in the amount that I put down in Beneath Rock and Lava and Tomb of the Ancients. After that, we need no more lumps. Alright, so 2 hours have passed. I've mapped out the entire run. So the next logical thing for me to do is look how long it actually takes for the average speedrunner to complete Rayman 2. And after that look into some speedrun tricks. So let me check Rayman 2 speedrunning. Any percent. No major glitches. 1 hour 19 minutes? That's crazy. Holy shit. No, this is all PC. Nintendo 64. 2 hours. 2 hours, 4 minutes? Holy shit. What about 100%? What? It's so close, it's so similar. Hour 3 was almost entirely spent watching speedruns and tricks. Not sure if I actually learned that much. More to get an idea about how other people who are way more experienced than me run this game. We're on hour 4, and man, this is where I start to pick up on the wild stuff. Ah!
Whoa, what the? Okay, sure. I don't care.
That's crazy. Wow. I see this runner, the world champion, Payman. He's just running the Bajou and all of a sudden, he pulls this move. As if it is nothing. Like what? And later, he runs down the Cave of Bad Dreams and he pulls this one. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Alright, that's better.
Crazy. See, the skip in the Bajou would only save me about 3 to 4 seconds, so I'm happy to skip it if I can't learn this in time. But this move, it would save you an entire round trip. What is that, like 1.5 minutes? It feels essential. So I think I have to practice. And practice is exactly what I do. Okay, so I've seen some speedrun tricks, but let's put them to the test. I'm just gonna try this. What? Let me check. How did he do that?
Collision.
What? What?
Alright, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Never thought of that. I practice some more and more, but it's clear to me that some things can only be performed on a fresh save file. What did he do?
Collision.
Ah, he damage boosted. No! That means I only got
Alright,
one
that's fine,
shot
that's
at
fine,
that.
that's
Oh, so that's not gonna work for me. Axel is already defeated on the save file that I'm practicing on, and his shots are the ones that damage boost you into this thing. It's not like Rayman 3 where you can redo the entire level like normal. And I mean, I guess I just have enough time to start a run from scratch and make it to this place. But am I going to spend this entire last hour just making sure I get this one skip that probably saves me about 10 to 15 seconds? No, I'm not. I have other things to look into. So I've actually learned... quite a lot, and here it is. I find some more possible shortcuts that I practice with a bit, and I started to chill my couch to watch some more speedruns and also some general tips video. Like, here's one where the lump boosting is explained with a graph and all. I practiced that for a bit, and although I did see progress, I didn't have enough time. I also found some tricks of getting over these lasers in Canopy, but the risk reward is just too great and I would end up losing more time at my skill level. Oh my god. Alright. Time's up. I think I'm ready. I am. Time for a speedrun. So here we go, beating this game as fast as I can with all the knowledge that I got in the past few hours. Although, it feels like I didn't learn that much. Mostly minor skips, but the big things, like the purple lump boosting, are really tricks to be experimenting with. So what I'll do this run is take a bit of risk and experiment here or there, but if I can't make a jump or skip within a couple of tries, I just give up. I'm no expert after 5 hours, only someone who loves this game a lot. And with that, I got through the Woods of Light. Now what is interesting is that I'm already 55 seconds slower than the world record holder. How did that happen? I thought I went as fast as possible. Whatever. So at the Fairy Glade I decide not to jump into the water and immediately jump up here. You can even see me jump off way before to have that sweet 0.5 or something time save. What I also do is stick to the walls and the shortest route in hallways. I mean, what's there more to do? But at this place I make my first mistake of the run. I try to shave a second or so off my time, but I land next to the platform making sure I fall off. Things like this can't keep happening, of course. I have to keep my focus. But I also had some very bad luck in Fairy Glade 3. I run past this pirate to the fence. I climb on, but something went wrong, causing me to fall off this platform and have to kill this pirate. Luckily I do redeem myself by making this play, which was one of the last plays that I learned in my prep time. The next interesting play is in the sewers. I'm currently only at 7 lumps, and according to the spreadsheet I need 12. I know that there are lumps in wind turbines later, But I figured that the best play is to get the lumps in the air and on this thing. Then drop down, get the lumps from this cage and drop down again. It's all going so fast, and although hard for my voiceover, it's great for the overall time. And you know what's even better? I'm currently on 13 lumps. One more than I had planned. But like I thought, when exiting this level, I'm actually at 16 lumps. I'm not really sure what to think about this. On the one hand, it's great because now I have margin for error. But it also has me question my time. Am I going too slow? Well, yes I am. But not because of the Fairy Glade, but because of the Marshes of Awakening. Part 1 goes great, I should say. But I believe I had 6 or 7 deaths in Marshes 2. The acceleration button works wonders, but it's also dangerous. It's great that I'm going fast, but it's worthless if by going fast I end up dying, adding more time by redoing parts here. I even came close to dying at some point, if you can believe it. 1 HP to be exact. This attempt has to go right. The piranha makes me scared, but I manage. There are 2 lumps in the air right here that I will just leave there. No need to take any more risks. But having said that, I do grab this one, and it works. That's 5 more, well worth the risk. Does it pay off? Yes it does. On 1 HP. Whew! So I did it. And I actually got 47 lumps. I got these 2 extra. So we currently have a margin of 6 lumps, which is quite a lot. In the Bajou, I can actually flex with my newly learned move that undoubtedly shaved 2 seconds off. Great. The rest of the Bajou went fine, I should say. I decided not to dabble with this skip and do it normally, which felt like only 2 to 3 seconds slower. Now I know they are easy lumps, but I figure in the interest of time I skip this cage to the left, shoot my shots right here so they bounce back, and open the cage below here for some free lumps. What I also learned is that you don't actually have to get this guy to fall in the pit. You can just let yourself get crushed and move on. Quick and easy time save. Now I have really overdone something and wasted time, or have an incredible margin in lumps. I'm currently on 114, that's 14 more than calculated. That means that I have significant wiggle room up until Stone and Fire, which does feel excellent. So I make a bold move by jumping in the water here, grabbing these 5 easy lumps and not swim further into that cave. That was the plan, to get all the 50 lumps here, but that's not necessary anymore. And this is even more great because now I will never trigger the baby Glowbox minigame. But what I would also do is throw these things. I think that's a little faster. A good quality of life feature in Rayman Revolution is that you can use lumps to buy running while carrying something. But unfortunately, not here. In only a couple of seconds, I collect 12 lumps here to make it to part 2. Now I figure it's worth 2 or 3 tries to try the Axel shortcut I found out. But you can see how it goes. It's not well. Luckily, Axel doesn't take very long to beat. And we have collected the first mask after 35 minutes and 3 seconds. Compare that to Payman, and we are 7 minutes and 12 seconds behind his pace. I would love to shrink this gap, but alas, I think there's very little chance that's going to happen, but might as well try. And speaking of very little chance, at the Manor Hills I mess up. It's very clear to me that this has everything to do with not having this game run in years. Because after picking up these 5 lumps, which seems well worth my time, I just want to boost forward with my shell. But I use a wrong button and I actually fall off. This shell riding could actually become a problem. I have found in my research that a quick attack here shoots an energy ball exactly to the switch there to open the door, saving about 5 seconds. So after hearing about the existential crisis of Clark, we entered the Cave of Bad Dreams. And what's funny is that I totally forgot that there was a lump before the entrance in the marshes. This means that I got a free lump that I didn't calculate beforehand. Great. Anyway, scary things. It actually went pretty well. besides two things. This arm grabbed me, wasting about 6 to 8 seconds, and that snowballed into the fact that this wall started to work against me by doing this move and having me waste another 5 seconds or so. Oh, and one more thing I really feel like mentioning about this place. There are a couple of really tiny gaps that you have to fall into, and Rayman always grabs the side in my experience. It's so weird to me because I've yet to find a single speedrun where the pros run into this issue. But I remember clearly as a kid that I had this problem as well. Anyway, of course I didn't bother with this lump boosting technique, and look at this move. I just made it, making sure this was fast. Great. Took me 55 seconds to get to the orange sphere. That's about 45-second time loss from using the lump boosting mechanic. But I know that using that would have only cost me time. Oh, and do you want to learn another trick? It is actually possible for Rayman to throw the spheres all the way there. I never knew this, so this actually saved a couple of seconds off. Okay, now for the most interesting thing in this entire run, the Yano fight. Everything went great until the part with the purple lumps. But I was focused on the platforming and suddenly... Where is Yano? What? What kind of glitch is this? Without him, I can't proceed. I think about reloading my save file, but I think that would reload the entire level or at the very least the sliding part. So I just kill myself and oh my, please pay close attention to Yano. He just kills himself. What is this? I can't do anything more than retrying, but oh my, this happened a few more times. I don't know what caused this glitch. The only thing I can think of to do is to shoot while he jumps. And the first time I use this, he remains alive. I have no idea if I did something right or if that was just lucky, but we can continue. Getting stuck at this glitch cost me 2.5 minutes. And yeah, the time is adding up. Because what I notice is that... well, I'm just not that good. I keep on dying sometimes, and that will add up the time every time. But no need to panic. This run is still going strong. A couple of deaths later at Manor Hills. This part was awful, the controls felt very weird. I have no idea how many lumps we are on. I think I didn't get an end screen at Cave of Bad Dreams, or I must have not paid attention. But I do know that I got one more lump in Manor Hills. So I figured that things are alright. But I like to have control, you know. Knowing more is great because then I can adapt more. My guess is that I'm actually good on schedule. So the plan was originally to get all these lumps in Canopy 1. But since that cost time, I decided that 14 is a healthy amount to continue and not waste any more time. We rescued Glowbox, do the rain shenanigans, and I found clips of people getting through this gate without doing the whole being a bush thing. But you know, I never got that to work. It took me 1.5 minutes to give up and actually do the bush thing. Big time loss. I finished the canopy with 43 lumps, 2 more than I had planned. At Whale Bay, I tried this skip that I had seen in my preparation. But what keeps happening is that Rayman doesn't glitch through. He instead gets pushed back. And this doesn't work and is useless to me. But I guess I'm not high enough? So just flip the switch then. A speedrun trick that did actually work out for me is this one. For some reason you can get a lot more height in your jump. When jumping from this palm tree, you can make this jump, skipping the carry part. You can also save a couple of seconds by flipping this switch, ride the shell until you collect 2 lumps and then kill yourself. You respawn right where you need to be and the whale just catches up. Unfortunately, these seconds were lost again when I thought it should be possible with no air bubbles in this last swimming part. But of course it isn't and I died. But listen, there was something else that I found really scary here. I get to this ending part with 10 lumps collected, but my spreadsheet listed 32. And I still have no idea where I'm at. But what ended up happening is that there were in fact way more lumps at the end than I thought. I end this level on 31 lumps, one less than I had planned. I guess the extra lump that I got in the marshes makes up for that, but I'm not really sure if I'll have enough. I think I do, but here comes the moment of truth. I do. Great. If I didn't, that would be run over right here. At this place, I figured that it's way faster to leave this lump and do everything from the plum. I actually have very little to say about stone and fire, besides the fact that I couldn't seem to find a good method to kill small Yano quickly. I know you have to not look at him, but I've seen speedrunners do it in 3 or 5 seconds. For me it was way faster than my scouting run, but still not fast. Second thing I have to say is that I was really scared to get to this place with still 0, now 1 lump collected. I'm going to need 22 more. But I'm sure over time that number will add up. And it in fact does, but not by a lot. I'm only at 11 lumps when making it here, and I even missed this one. I think 1 lump won't make the difference probably, but Umber moves to exactly this place. So with a stroke of good luck, I still got this lump. But ending on 12 seems rough. However, I did not forget that the last lump is hidden left of this place. I found this as a kid and it got me very excited. But alright, I leave on 13. That's still 10 less than I had planned. But before entering the echoing caves, I can very briefly see that I'm on 326 lumps. So the margin I built earlier, absolutely coming in handy right now. Even with getting 10 less than planned, I'm still in a 3 lump lead from my planning. Is this going the way I want? Well, it certainly looks like it, since I can use an excellent speedrun tactic in Echoing Caves 1, while still collecting 10 lumps. It took me a couple of tries, but you can actually make this jump right here. From here, you can shoot the first switch. The camera won't turn, so it's kinda hard to see, and my aim kept turning to the pirate. But eventually I did hit the switch, and I can jump down here and take a quick swim to the second switch. The time in between switches was only 21 seconds. That's how we know we got a run going. When we get back, we shoot this place just as long as the energy balls bounce to the switch, and after, 4 seconds or something, it works. And look at what I do at switch 4. I jump down, shoot the pirate, and during his recovery time, I shoot right here, in the hopes that my bullets will bounce to the switch and taking the platforms below me up. This works. Now kill the pirate, flip the switch, and immediately get back on those platforms before time runs out. From start to finish, this level cost me 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Excellent. At this place it felt easy to get this cage. But you know what? I came in prepared. Because this cage only contains red lumps, which I'm not interested in at all. So we just leave it and save time. And that is something we will also do at the end of this tunnel, when aiming the barrel at this pirate, making an insta-kill. Now I was 3 lumps ahead, but we leave this level on 37 while only having 30 planned. So I'm now in a 10 lump lead. In the precipice, all lumps are basically right in your path. That's why I figured to have a high number. One speedrun trick here was insanely good for 2 reasons. 1, it saves time of course. There's an entire round trip that I can now save myself from. But 2, I believe there is a lump that we missed because of 1 round trip that we did not do. I could be wrong on that, but if this is true, see how great this is. Because at the end, we can spend about 8 to 10 seconds to get 10 more easy lumps here. And that brings our counter up to 49. Exactly 1 short of that minigame that we don't want. I also thought about leaving those lumps, I mean, it would save time, but that also means that the margin that I had will be gone with this 1 move. And those 10 seconds or so won't make or break the run at my skill level, so might as well get them. Alright, time for the top of the world. And you know what? It went great. A few lumps caught me off guard, and the ending is always confusing to me. But we finished the level with 44 lumps. I've learned a few tricks at rock and lava. Some of them I've gotten to work, others not. At this place, I know you can do some shortcut by getting up there way faster. But I didn't bother since my camera angle was so that I couldn't see the purple lump. I didn't know. But the technique I really want to show off is this one. Via this fence we climb to the left side, but I'm not taking the lumps and for good reason. Because when we get onto this plant, we can just jump off. The plant speed is consistent, and so it's faster to collect these lumps when we have to wait regardless. This results in the fact that I collect the lumps and just jump in this hole on the plant again. Further up ahead I couldn't seem to get this cage, so I just left it. But in the next part, tragedy struck. See, I entered this room on very low amounts of health, and I get in fact killed by a fly of all things. And I'm game over. It doesn't reset me to so far, but I immediately found out what caused my health bar to be so low. See, this lava, it did so much damage. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I was not prepared for this. I got so unlucky and doing badly was my own fault. We finished with 2 lumps less than I had planned, but damn, that game over screen was rough, man. So, time for the flying in beneath. I died once, but overall this went great. Even Fouch didn't put up much of a fight. But what I was interested in is not the third mask, sorry Rayman, but my lump count. And what was actually shocking is that it came short a couple of lumps again. And at this point I'm not really sure anymore where I'm at. I only got one more level to get me to the 555 mark. But are we close? No idea. This is going to be scary. And yes, that was a pun because we are going to enter this graveyard. There should be a place where you can hit this button from up here, but I couldn't seem to find it, so I just jumped down. I found videos and articles on a speedrun strat that was found, I believe, only a couple of years back, where you could make this jump without both those platforms. I mean, they cost extra time to find the switches. So what I thought is that I'm going to need the third one, but maybe I can jump the second one. This won't work otherwise. Second one I can jump over, but the third one I definitely need. So it was a gamble which route to take. I didn't know which room would trigger which platform. And I won the coin flip by guessing right, and it actually worked. This resulted in my entire plan working. With a perfect jump, I jump over the gap that I had planned, and the third platform helped me with that. What I also did was try and speed boost through here, like I saw a couple of runners. Didn't work out for me, I need more practice on that. But this move did work out for me. We defeated Clark, and this is where I start to seriously panic. I finished the Tomb of the Ancients with 28 lumps. That's 11 less than I had planned. And since I've also not hit the amount in beneath, is this going to be enough? Oh man, there's absolutely nothing more I can do than just see and hope. The entire run is going to depend on if my lump count says 555 or not. And 551, yes! Let's go! The margin saved me! Oh man! Totally wrong calculations in the last 2 levels, but the margin I had built saved me by 1 lump. 2 lumps less and this entire run was wasted. That means that every lump we got, absolutely necessary. Sure, I think I can learn a lot from getting lumps that I've skipped this run, who would be faster than the lumps that I did end up collecting. But now time to leave those lumps and focus on getting to the finish as fast as possible. I'm in no need for lumps anymore. But the game giveth and the game taketh away. At the Iron Mountains we all know this place, with the switches that are very hard to hit. Well, what if you don't have to? The hole is guarded by 2 laser beams, but the electricity actually leaves room at 2 sides. Now keep in mind that normally this is spinning around like crazy, which makes getting through there a lot harder. So I failed this twice, And apparently both times I didn't pick up the green lump. So I had to run back there 3 times. But 3 times is the charm, and I go right on through. Well, smooth sailing, right? Just look at this. The hell is this shit? I now have to run back here again and do this nonsense again. This felt like a ginormous time loss. I hope that I can make that up by riding the shell later, but holy shit, this was stupid. But okay, listen. I know the shortest route here. Go a little left and at the end move entirely to the left and up this wall. Now latch onto the wall on the right and then clip to the floor. Should be simple and easy, right? Well, watch this. Oh my god, I get so unlucky in this level, like what is this? I got it, the screen even went half black. Time loss after time loss. Maybe it's because I've been going on a while and my focus is not what it was a couple of hours ago, but this was just dumb. And speaking of dumb, this part just sucks and feels so dumb that this baby glowbox just happened to have the 4th mask, while all other shrines are only open for Rayman. Anyway, prison ship. Sliding went mostly okay. I died twice because I kept thinking that it was faster to keep on jumping, but it wouldn't be faster and I ended up dying because of that. Now in the next room I actually got so unlucky. Okay, and I was playing really poorly myself. See, what I didn't know is that when you want the shell to spawn, this pirate has to die. He has a lot of health and does big damage, so I thought might as well leave him. Well, this cost me minutes, and I even got the game over screen for the 2nd time. Oh my god! You know what? Get this. When the shell does finally spawn, I can't seem to get the switch. I can't seem to do it right. It's so much bad luck. And yeah, this issue specifically is a skill issue. I should have practiced with flying the shell. My scouting run ended up not making it to this place. So the last time I did this could very well have been 12 years ago or something. And oh man, what a shame I didn't practice this. Because that would not only have helped me here, but it would have also prevented 2 deaths I got in the next level. I mean, of course I got it afterwards, but that is so much time wasted. And for the final time, I'd waste a lot of time at Grolgoth too. The reason? I really didn't know how to shake off these 2 blasts, and they kept on hitting me. After a couple of minutes, I found out that you have to scratch the surface, but it was minutes later. This fight took me 11 minutes, while it could have only been 2. So frustrating. This run. It felt like real ups and downs. I usually get a lot more frustrated at speedruns because you become so aware of every mistake that you make. Having had 5 hours of prep time helped a lot, but it really wasn't enough. To actually be a good speedrunner, you need to run a game countless times. It really felt like a big discrepancy between speedrunning Rayman 3, which I can do very well, and this game. Now the ending time was 3 hours, 23 minutes and 51 seconds. Not a good time. But I really do want to say that experience is what makes or breaks these runs. I've left out a lot of experience by being gone for many years in this game. The more you practice, the less mistakes you are going to make. If you would take about 80% of the mistakes I made out of this run, you can very easily take about 20 to 25 minutes from this run. Only the prison ship and the Grolgoth alone already cost me so much time. And that would make things interesting, because it would mean that getting 3rd place is actually something that I can strive for. For now, bottom of the ranking. It was fun, but I wasn't good enough. Whew, this was something. And you know what? I'm back, baby. I have to work on more videos. So that's it for me. This has been yet another obscure video game run, so until next time I'd say, take care.